Here's our first panel of the day, the eSports ecosystem and how this booming industry works. It's a fireside chat moderated by Dr. Janelle Wells with the University of South Florida School of Business. Please welcome Dr. Wells.
Thank you, Paul. Well, welcome everyone. We are excited to set the stage discussing the ecosystem today and hearing from the very best and brightest. So let's get started. We have a 17-year veteran in eSports. Heather Garozzo is a competitor, a journalist, and a marketer who is devotedly passionate about the eSports industry. As a veteran member of the Counter-Strike community, Heather has competed in over 200 tournaments, including winning the 2012 Women's World Cup. Her all-female team, which she now manages at Dignitas, is ranked top 3 in the world. At Dignitas, she develops and executes the social media and broadcasting strategy. So Bulls, please welcome 2019 eSports Insider Hall of Famer, Heather Garozzo.
Great to be here.
So let's set up, we've heard a lot of numbers so far, right? 50 billion stands out to us. We want to set this up as an industry professional yourself. Over the past decade, we've seen this explosive growth, right? Explain to me, how would you tell your grandmother, what is eSports?
So I've had to do this many times. Grandma didn't get it. I compare it a lot to like chess and poker. That she can relate to. You know, they're games of mental strength, of mental skill. The eSports is outplaying your opponent, both mentally but also like physically with your reaction time. I tell her, hey, Grandma, you know the LA Lakers, you know, you've heard of the Staples Center. Yeah, people go there to watch video games. Okay, starting to get that. It's being the best at excelling at a game. So, you know, there's a lot of gamers. There's far more gamers than are eSports fans. But there's a certain skill set you need to have to be a professional gamer. It's very, very difficult. There's only a fraction of percent that can be pro gamers. And then the fans of those games they want to get better. They want to watch people excel in their favorite game. I like to compare it to poker a lot because previously, like, poker wasn't like a competitive sport many years ago until they started putting on TV and they show you the cards that someone has. Okay, now it starts to become intense because you're like, you know this guy's got a straight. The other guy should definitely fold. And that anticipation, having that knowledge, creates all this excitement when you watch poker, and that's very similar to eSports. Before people broadcasting eSports, it wasn't as fun to sit behind a guy and like, okay, I see what you see, no big deal. But when you as the audience, you know everything's about to happen, and you see all this excitement, that's really exciting for people. So it's kind of how I explain it to Grandma. She kind of gets it. Kind of. Right?
Well, great, wonderful. But there's also this comprehensive ecosystem around it, right? So we put a visual up here, okay? But can you describe, particularly from the vantage point of a team, what makes up this ecosystem?
So we work with a lot of the game publishers. So we compete in 6 different titles, and there's far more titles than that too. So we work with League of Legends, we play Smite, Clash Royale, Counter-Strike. So all these game publishers help define what their esport looks like. So what are the different skills it takes, where is this broadcasted, how many teams are in the league, what makes up a team. Then there's the tournament organizers, which sometimes themselves are also the publishers, sometimes they're the third parties. So they're the ones that are putting on the tournaments, and they're the ones helping fill those arenas. Then there's the sponsors, so they're the ones that are helping put money into this ecosystem. So our organization works with HyperX, they provide us with our headsets, our keyboards, and our mice. We work with Mountain Dew. We work with Buffalo Wild Wings in the past. We work with Dell, and all these sponsors are giving money for us to pay our players to compete in these events. And then there's the fans, there's the broadcasters, there's different social networks where you can help, how do you meet different players, how do you form teams. It's a very complex ecosystem, and that's one of the challenges too. I played traditional sports growing up, and you start in t-ball, and then you go to softball, and then you play in high school. That structure is still new to esports. There's many different ways to get into it.
It's the same game, but there's multiple
games, yes.
You said some terminology in there, especially for our general audience, that we want to kind of unpack. We say esports, but we also say gaming. How do you differentiate the two?
So esports is the competitive version of games. So it's anyone can play the games that make up esports, but if you want to be a competitor, you usually have a team, you usually have a practice structure, you're playing in different events, there's different ladder systems where you're trying to move up and trying to get in the top leagues. So this is the competitive version of these different games.
And then one more, a streamer. So what's a streamer?
A streamer is a content creator, and sometimes they can be professional gamers themselves, sometimes they simply can be entertainers. Maybe they're terrible at the game, but that's what makes it interesting. So streamers are broadcasting on multiple different platforms, Twitch being one of the most popular, Caffeine, Mixer also are popular. So people are broadcasting their gameplay, and it's even expanded beyond gameplay now, where people are having cooking shows, and they're doing IRL streams. Our team has these IRL backpacks, we call them, in real life. And pick up a backpack that has 4 modems, and you're just live streaming yourself going around the world. And that's interesting to people.
Oh, very much so. Okay, great. We've covered the ecosystem. So now I want to talk about you going from a world champion, right, to this business side, now as the VP of marketing. Describe how esports leagues and teams differ from those traditional sports.
So, like I mentioned, in traditional sports, there's a structure where you start in the league, and then you go to high school, and then you go to college, and then maybe you get recruited through a draft. It's not as defined in esports. I mean, there's pro gamers that are 13 years old, playing in these Fortnite World Cup events. So you can skip a lot of it. You can be a pro at a very young age, which is really exciting. And there's not really any physical barriers to be in these leagues. It's difficult to kind of get noticed in the league. There's just in esports, there's so many people competing for dollars, competing for teams. But there are a lot of similarities too, which I find fascinating. We work with the Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Devils. Years ago this didn't happen, but now as esports is maturing, we're realizing there's a lot of similarities in terms of the need for mental and physical health. We work with sports psychologists, we work with chefs and nutritionists, various team doctors, all those people that are helping train us just like the professional athletes are trained. So I think it's fascinating that there's a lot of similarities now too.
Very much so, similarities. But focusing more on one of the differentiators, the publishers, right? So they may not have been the initial drivers of this industry, but now, how are they driving the industry?
So the publishers are the ones that they're defining the games, they're defining the rule sets. What's interesting about esports is that we'll look at League of Legends as a game. There's a new patch every week or two. So the players have something new to learn. Compare that to the NFL. They're not changing the size of the field, they're not changing the ball, they're not changing the goalposts, nothing changes about that. But esports, it's constantly changing, and the publishers are doing that because it keeps it interesting, it keeps people on their toes. There's always something new to learn, and sometimes that gives other people an advantage that may not have been good at a particular champion, and now they're good because this one was improved or something changed about that. And I think that's fascinating. That's ever evolving. The publishers have a hand in that. Publishers also help create these tournaments. They create these franchise leagues, and that's what's drawing the attention of a lot of the professional sports teams.
Along lines in those tournaments, we can have a local tournament. right? Super Brothers. But then we also have this Overwatch League, and then as we mentioned, as Paul mentioned, right, we have this World Cup now. Can you describe a little bit more about those events?
Yeah, there's many different formats, and that's what's so exciting. Smash tournaments are one of the most grassroots events where people get their big CRTs in a room, and they're playing for 14, 18 hours a day straight, and anyone can put together that tournament. And then there's games like League of Legends, where it's a franchise league, and you're paying tens of millions of dollars to be in this league and compete. Then I come from the Counter-Strike community, which is run by Valve, and they allow anyone to create a tournament. If you want to create a tournament, you can run one, and that means there's tons of different tournament organizers, and that gives so much opportunity for amateur players to break into the professional scene. And then Fortnite is, again, they're run by Epic, and Epic is doing something a little different where they're focusing not just on the top players, but also the most interesting players, the content creators. So a lot of these content creators are getting invited to events, even if they're not the best player, because that's interesting and that's exciting to do.
So we know it's a growing industry, but with growth comes changes. Also comes some pains, aches and pains, right? Can you explain some?
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, obviously the diversity has been a big issue for many years. I look in the room here and I see a lot of women, and that's incredible. That would have never happened years ago. I was always the only woman in the room. I felt like an outsider. I felt like I didn't belong. And a lot of women are criticized for being in eSports. I watched a professional team play last night, and on Twitch it just says, go back to the kitchen, you don't belong here. So that's always hard, that women aren't necessarily supported. And then a lot of issues around player treatment, contracts, player unions, how do we look out for the players? Compare that to the NFL and they have the players union. That's something that doesn't necessarily exist in esports. People aren't necessarily looking out for the players and their concerns. So there needs to be a lot more structure around it, but it's improving, certainly.
And speaking from some producers, I know at Riot they were talking about how they're building some AI to combat some of these aggressions that are happening online.
Yeah, Riot does a fantastic job, I think, of helping moderate what was happening in that game, and I'd love to see that happen in more games.
You also mentioned the structure, right? When we talk about, I think we're used to having governing bodies, so what is that looking like in this space?
It's starting to come around. I think what's interesting, a lot of times the governing bodies are either the tournaments themselves or the publishers themselves, which possibly creates some conflicts of interest. But I know in the Counter-Strike community they have created a player union, which is starting to help improve the player treatment at events and improving the rule sets. But it could be better. That being said, I do like the openness of it, and that anyone can be a pro gamer if they're good enough, and anyone can run a tournament if they have the resources to do that, instead of being held back by structure. So there's both pros and cons to it.
Oh, absolutely. So I want to turn the focus now to your role as a VP, okay, at Dignitas. How does this fit into the world of esports?
So Dignitas is one of the oldest professional esports teams. We've been around for 16 years now. And we have the largest sports management in all of esports. So we're owned by Philadelphia 76ers, New Jersey Devils, Houston Rockets, Boston Bruins, among a few other teams. And so we use all of their resources to help build our players' brands, our team's brands. So I'm overseeing our social media strategy, our marketing, our video content, website, PR. We want to create personalities out of our players. We want them to turn from micro-influencers into macro-influencers. And we also want them to help them succeed in the game. We want them to win more tournaments. So I'm traveling to events across the world. I just came back from Berlin and Russia, and now I'm here in a span of 7 days. And we work with different sponsors to help show off those brands, and that in turn builds our players' brands, and with those players' brands, we bring in more money as a team.
And so focusing on the brand, and especially the audience, excuse me, you just recently had a rebrand. Tell us what was behind that.
We did. So we, again, we're a 16-year-old team. We had a logo that was like a little alien guy, and it didn't necessarily relate anything to the name Dignitas. We were challenged by our CEO to look into what Dignitas means, and it's a phrase that comes from the Roman era, and it's kind of the sum of your life's achievements, your worth, your merit. So we wanted to build a logo, a brand, an identity to help better reflect what that name is, and then that makes more sense when we're talking to non-endemic sponsors, because they saw this little alien dude, and that doesn't really make sense to them, and what is the word Dignitas? So now we're building more of an identity. We're maturing as a professional sports team instead of more of like a gaming club like it used to be many years ago.
So for our general audience again, you said this word non-endemic.
Non-endemic. So endemic brands would be ones that like Dell and HyperX that they are endemic to the eSports space. Those players, the fans, they know those brands. And then there are the non-endemics like Mountain Dew, Buffalo Wild Wings that come from more of a maybe traditional sports space, and now they're entering the eSports space.
So how are you measuring this brand, this change in brand? How are you measuring that?
So we are measuring, one of the biggest things is just our social following. Unlike a traditional sports team where you probably just look at the followers of your team accounts, we actually use our players' accounts to measure our following as well. So if you're a sponsored professional player, you're expected to put all of our logos, our branding across your jerseys, across your social media, across your live stream. And so then we can include that in our social following metric that we pitch out to sponsors and say, hey, this is what our reach is. So if you work with us as a brand, you're going to reach this amount of people. We also look at impressions on social media, how far our posts reaching beyond our following. And then we look at our live stream metrics. So one of the most important live stream metrics is viewed hours or viewed minutes. Like how many hours are our audience members exposed to our different logos and our branding.
Can you give us some examples of the difference in the content from a streamer and gamers?
So for our gamers, a lot of the content that we create actually doesn't have as much to do with the game anymore. I feel like people have been showing gameplay videos for the past 15 years, and that's great, but that's what you see when you watch the tournament. We want to create content that tells stories about the players, and we want the fans to fall in love with these players because of how goofy they are, or how structured they run their practice, or how knowledgeable they are about the game that you don't necessarily see when you watch. So we're doing a series right now with our women's Counter-Strike team with Mountain Dew called In the Moment. And In the Moment is a 5-part documentary that shows everything that happens before they go on stage and compete, and what is all, what are the blood, sweat, and tears that go into a tournament. For our live streamers, they also do gameplay content, but we want to show up their personalities. Usually the streamers are pretty goofy and they're energetic and they're outgoing, and that's why we have these IRL backpacks and say, take them, go out in the world, and people just want to watch them go out to eat because it's funny and entertaining, and maybe they're taking it to karaoke, and so that content is more kind of lifestyle content.
Okay, great. So in the audience, we have quite a bit of students. What would be some opportunities for them to enter the business side?
Sure. What's amazing about esports now is that there's so many careers in it. From the business side, obviously, marketing. A lot of the team managers have gone through like a sports management program in college. Even the sciences apply to esports now, where we have a dedicated sports psychologist, we have a nutritionist, we have a chef. We're working with sales groups to bring in more brands. There's so many opportunities, and there's not enough people. It's an exploding industry right now, and what's always important to us is that you've got to love this. You got to love this space. You have to understand eSports. So that there's just a ton of opportunities, whether it be publishers, tournament organizers, teams, brands.
Now, what about someone in the audience is maybe hesitant, right? I've been in a profession for 10, 20 years. How do I make that pivot?
Well, I said, loving esports is great, but even just loving sports, loving competition, being able to appreciate what our athletes do, I think is very important. But esports teams want that outside perspective. I was a professional gamer, but the majority of my life I was working at a Fortune 500 insurance company, not in esports. So bringing in kind of that outside perspective helps us build and mature this industry. So a lot of the teams, a lot of the publishers are recruiting from the outside of the esports space.
And then now, as an educator, what do you tell me?
Well, first off, supporting this is incredible. This did not exist when I was in college. I went to the University of Wisconsin, and we did have a couple Counter-Strike tournaments for $25 gift cards at Best Buy, and I thought that was the most incredible thing that could ever happen. And now these sort of events, this is incredible to support these young adults. This is what they do in their free time. People aren't watching traditional sports as much anymore as they are involved in esports, and supporting that and understanding that, I think, is fascinating. I know that there's a lot of bad press around it being addictive, but supporting it in a healthy manner and showing what opportunities there are beyond just competing, I think is incredible stuff.
And I have one more advice for it. What do we tell the NCAA?
Ooh, that one's tough. I know that's a tough one. To be fair, like a lot of the kind of the esports OGs we'll call are a little fearful of the NCAA like coming in and building too many like regulations around it. That being said, I still think it would be good for the NCAA to be involved because, again, these students are going to be playing regardless. Let's help build a healthy structure on it. Let's support it. It's amazing to see that the universities and high schools are creating scholarships and programs. I think it's great, but making sure that people that help build this industry are involved in helping define what the NCAA would do with it, I think is important.
Anything else you'd like to share that I may not have asked?
Gosh, those are great questions, but from my perspective, like I love talking about this. I think it's the most incredible industry. People, years ago, the perception is like you're just kind of wasting your time in your mom's basement, but it is so much more than that. People are traveling the world, playing for incredible amounts of money, and there's certainly incredible people that are involved in this industry and building something truly special.
Well, audience, please, let's thank you for your time and your